It's the most wonderful time of year. Hello, welcome to Bad at Board Games, where we're bad at board games, so you don't have to be. I'm Toph Ferguson, and today I get to talk about some of my favorite genres of board games. To be honest, some of my favorite genres in general, and that is this spooky season, the horror that is Halloween. Today I'm coming at you with some of my favorite games to play during this spooky season. I've got a list of 10 of my favorite games that I have played that kind of fall within this genre. I had to restrain myself. As you know, one of my favorite themes is the Lovecraftian universe and the Arkham horror universe. I think I could fill an entire top 10 list just of my favorite Arkham games. So I tried not to do that. You might see that game pop up at some point, but I tried to think outside the box a little bit and think into some of the other games that I enjoy, games that I have played. Actually, all of these, either I or Brad own. However, there are a couple honorable mentions I'm going to throw in as well because, well, in true Topher fashion, that's what I have to do. So let's get into this theme of Halloween as we get into this spooky season and start talking about some board games. We're going to start with a couple honorable mentions. And these are some card games that I have played that I think kind of fit this theme quite well, but they haven't made it in my top 10. But if you're looking for some fun games to play, these might be things that are right up your alley. The first honorable mention I have is called Machine of Death. This is actually a card game that has come out based on a book as well. The premise of it is you are going to die. You know when you're going to die. But now you need to fill in the details with how you're going to die. And so it is a fun little card game. It's got a dice mechanic where you are trying to roll your dice to see if you are successful in fulfilling the ways that you are dying within a time frame. You have to do it within a time frame. It is extremely stressful. And what better than kind of knowing you are going to die and trying to figure out the how it's going to happen for this Halloween season. So that's one to take a look at. Another one that is fun is actually a game that is newer to me. It is called I Am Death Now. You are playing as a card game. You're playing trying to kill fellow students. Fun little game to be able to play. I have enjoyed the plays that I've had where we've just kind of been laughing, sitting around the table, trying to sabotage other people, trying to bring some students back from the dead, trying to stop some other players from being able to kill the innocents or the students that they are with. Just a fun little card game. Plays pretty quickly. Not overly difficult, but again, fits that theme of Halloween kind of horror from a comedy standpoint pretty well. So, a couple great games for you to check out. But if you really want to get into the Halloween season, here are some games that I think you should at some point in your time play, if not maybe own. We're going to start with another small card game. This is a card game called Gloom. Gloom is this wild little take on what I kind of thought of as kind of the Addams family. You've got this family who just revels in gloom. Everybody plays as a different family, and your cards are transparent. So as you lay out your family, your goal is to kill your family members. And in doing so, you want to make sure that before they die, they are just as pitiful as can be. And so you are trying to add to your family members traits that bring them down. It's a storyteller game. You've got to be able to tell the story as you play this to enjoy what's really going on in Gloom. But if you get into that storytelling mode, if the others that you're playing with enjoy crafting these elaborate stories based off just a little bit of text that come up in the different cards, you can really start to see this theme unravel. And while you are trying to make your family as pitiful as possible and just revel in their gloom, at the same time, you're trying to boost the spirits of your opponents. And so the give and take in this game is a lot of fun. With the right people, this is an enjoyable night of just chaos and, shall I say, gloom. So that is number 10, Gloom. Something to definitely take a look at. A lot of expansions for it. Get the base game. See if you enjoy the base game before you jump into all the expansions. Number 9 on my list probably takes horror as high as it can go in this list that I have. And that is a game of running and probably dying around a ship. Friends, I bring you Nemesis. Nemesis is a game that took me quite a while to jump into. The alien theme if we can say this is based off of a certain movie, didn't appeal to me necessarily in the beginning. Fantastic movie series. Was it going to translate well into a board game? Friends, this game here is amazing. Nemesis will take you on an adventure where you are honestly afraid of every step that you're going to take, wondering if you're going to make the noise that's going to cause these aliens and these opponents to come against you. Are you going to get jettisoned out of the aircraft? Are you going to get left behind? Are you going to be able to leave the ship on time? Are you a traitor? Is somebody else in your midst a traitor? This game here, again, for storytelling purposes, is fantastic. Even if you're not wanting to craft your own story, playing this game is going to write the story for you. It's a great adaptation of theme. You're going to have a frightful night if you are able to survive. So that is my number 9 pick in this theme, and that is Nemesis. Coming up again, sticking with this theme of horror and trying to escape with your life, is a hidden movement game. And if you know me, you know that I don't really prefer hidden movement games necessarily, but this one was one that immediately caught my attention and one that I definitely enjoyed playing. One person in this mix is going to be a murderer, Jack the Ripper. Friends, Letters from Whitechapel is a great a great hidden movement game. One person playing as Jack the Ripper, going around on all the different nights, killing his victims. Everybody else plays as the police. Detectives are trying to capture him. Because of the hidden aspect of the game, there is a little bit of fright for it. If you are playing as Jack the Ripper, you have to escape with your life. Nobody can see you on the board, but you are feeling the pressure as the police are coming to you. If you are the police, it's a little bit different because you have to find him. And you have to work together to do so, but he is moving around this board. You have no idea where he is in the city. As you continue through each of your nights, you're going to pick up clues. You're going to try to figure out where he may be, and in the process, he's going to kill again. Murder. Hidden, spooky aspect of the game. The artwork in it is fantastic. Even the rulebook itself is so thematic. It gives you all these insights into the actual story of Jack the Ripper. If you get into serial killers, this is a great one to be able to immerse yourself in the theme, see a little bit of that horror side from actual events, murders that have taken place, the wretched who were killed, and the police who tried to stop them. So this is my number 8 take for your Halloween spooky season games, Letters from Whitechapel. We'll continue through some of these spooky games, getting into the ghost aspect. Fun little lightweight game, Mysterium. In Mysterium, you are either playing as the ghost who had been killed, or you are playing as mediums and psychics who have come together to try to figure out who it was, who did it, from a different aspect. Not Clue. This game's going to get into a little bit more of the let's look at actual clues from a very abstract perspective. We are going to hear these messages coming from this ghost, but our visions are a little spooky. The house is haunted. The ghost is there. You're trying to figure out the murder. You're trying to figure out how it happened. Can you do it? Are you going to be able to succeed? Are you going to make the right predictions? Or are you going to lose? A cooperative game where everybody, the ghost and all the mediums and psychics, have to come out together and solve the mystery. Otherwise, everybody fails. You're talking about Halloween. What better way to talk about that Halloween than a haunted house with psychics and ghosts who try to figure out who their killer may have been? Friends, this is Mysterium. Continuing through, my next game recommendation is a zombie game, Dead of Winter. This here fits Halloween from a perspective of fright of zombies coming towards you. If you've not played Dead of Winter, you are in a colony to begin your game. You are controlling your heroes, if you will. One of you may be a traitor. It may be you, it may be somebody else. You have to be able to work to feed your colony. You have to work to be able to fulfill missions and objectives. You're going to face various crossroads as you go throughout the game, things that are going to help you things that are going to possibly hurt you. You're going to have to leave the safety of the compound and head out into the unknown, heading out to different locations where zombies are going to start popping up, where they might have to come to fights, where you might have to possibly take some damage. It has got a little bit of luck to it, but at the same time, it's got a lot of great storytelling aspects. If you're into zombies, if you like The Walking Dead, if you like any of that theme, or if you like possible traitor roles in games, this one is a game you should definitely check out. So that is Dead of Winter, a zombie game fitting into the horror theme. My next game is actually a conglomeration of games. I mentioned there's a universe that I definitely like, and I could not create a horror list without diving into some of the best horror themes there are, and that is Lovecraftian horror. Now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up a whole lot of these games in one play, so I'm going to show you a bunch of them. If you want a lightweight game, kind of dabbling your feet into this horror field, Tower of Madness is going to be a great one to start with. Take Kerplunk, add into it Yahtzee, and give it the horror theme of Cthulhu, and you have Tower of Madness. A lightweight game where you are all playing, trying to discover the horrors. You're going into locations, you are investigating, trying to find clues and spells that's going to help you throughout the game. And as you do so, you are pulling horrors out of the tower. Not my favorite Arkham horror theme, but definitely a fun adaptation into the Arkham universe. Tower of Madness, fun little game, maybe a little bit more appropriate for younger audiences than some of the scarier, heavier weight Arkham games. Sticking with that same universe is going to be Elder Sign, a dice rolling game where you are investigating this mansion, this museum, this space, and all these monsters are coming up in all the different rooms that you have to fight as you investigate. This is a game that I tend to lose a lot. Fantastic play solo. Elder Sign, definitely a game to check out. The phone app is fantastic. The actual physical game I like even more. Great game to pull up to the table. Another Arkham horror game I absolutely love is a living card game. Friends, you guys have got me into this. I've had this game on my shelf for quite a while, and I finally dove into the game, and I am now obsessed. I've been playing this nonstop throughout this month so far. To the point that I'm already starting to get the expansions. I know I'm going to continue getting more. Arkham Horror living card game, probably one of my favorite adaptations of the Arkham Horror series. And that is saying something because Arkham Horror 2nd Edition is one of my absolute favorite games. Eldritch Horror, another one into the same universe. Instead of playing in a city, you're playing around the world, trying to do investigations, trying to find things. This is a little bit lighter weight as well compared to the Arkham Horror, especially 2nd Edition game, which is one of my favorites in the Arkham universe. This game right here got me really going and kickstarted into gaming. I was into gaming before I got to this. I have several other gateway games, but when I got this game, I fell in love with the immersive nature. This is a storyteller. This is a night of horror and fright. As monsters are coming around, as you are exploring throughout the city of Arkham, you're having all kinds of encounters that are positive, negatives. You're going through all these different portals into different realms. You're trying to find the clues to close the gates to be able to keep the Elder One away, but he's going to come. You're going to face him. It's going to take some time. You're probably going to lose. The game can take 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. I've played a 10-hour game before, and even if I lose, even through all of that gameplay, it is still one of my favorite gaming experiences. I love this game. Arkham Horror is one of the most satisfying horror games that I have played. It is not number one on my list, but it is definitely up there. The entire Arkham universe. So we wrapped all of that in one. We have a handful of games. We're getting down to the bottom of the list. Gloom, Nemesis, Letters from Whitechapel, Mysterium, Dead of Winter, all of the Arkham universe. Let's get into my favorites. Here we go. Top 4 games on my list. Number 4. This is a great game for the Halloween season. It's a great game for whenever, but if you like vampires, this is a good adaptation getting into vampires. The Hunger, a card game with a bit of pressure luck added into it. You are actually playing as the vampires. You are leaving the castle, going out hunting, feeding, getting fat on blood and slowing yourself down. You got to get all the way back to the castle before the sun comes up. The timing mechanic is great. It causes you to make wise decisions, to push your luck, to see if you can get as far as you can, to get the extra points, to make it all the way back. And as you go, you are feeding and building your deck with things that are positive, but also slow you down. Great theme. If you've seen our review on this game, you'll understand why we love it here at Bad at Board Games. This is number 4 on my list of Halloween themes. A little fun game to pick up if you're interested in adding to your Halloween collection. Number 3, you've seen me talk about nonstop. One of my absolute favorite games of all time, Cthulhu Death May Die. Friends, I know this is part of the Arkham universe. I know this is part of that same theme, but this game stands alone different. This game plays different. The aspect of having to make yourself go insane in order to become more powerful to be able to win is fantastic. We're probably going to lose. When I've played this game, no matter who I've played it with, if we have won, it has always come down to pretty much the last action of the game. Either we were going to lose or we were going to win. And you always have that feeling of insanity. I played this last night with a great friend of mine. She had never played it before. I introduced her to the game. We started playing through the first episode of season 1, and we get all the way to the very end. And there are so many monsters, so many cultists, so many things in one space with Haster. We had to be able to kill him. Otherwise, the two of us was going to die within a turn. And I just said, you know what? Let's do it. Here we go. I'm taking everything I can. I'm running with a bunch of monsters and cultists following me into this room, and I've got my one action. Let's see what we can do. I had maxed out my sanity. I had 1 sanity left before I died. That was it. I was on my very last sanity. I rolled my dice. I had a ton of dice to be able to play. I did damage to everybody. And in that moment, the single last play of the game before I died, which would have been 1 left turn for my friend to see if she could win, we pulled it off. We defeated Haster. We cleared the board of the enemies, and we won the game. The whole time through this, your stress is on high alert. You're in this place. It is like, well, literally, it was burning down. There was fire everywhere in this house that we were crawling through, trying to disrupt the ritual and come out on top. And we did it. Barely. Both of us. Scared as we go through the game, because you never know what horror is going to pop up directly on top of you as you play. Cthulhu Death May Die, one of the best games that I've got. I absolutely love every play I've had of this game. Win or lose, just like Arkham Horror, a fantastic story. So that is number 3. My last 2 games I've got for you. Friends, if you want Halloween, you think haunted house, right? The haunted house that I've got as my number 2 is Betrayal at House on the Hill. Betrayal at House on the Hill is a game where you are building this mansion up around you as you explore it. This brings me back to maybe some adventures I took in college, trying to explore what we thought was haunted houses. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. In this game, it definitely is. The game is playing against you. You may be playing against yourself as well. You play as a team of, I would say, misfits jumping into this haunted house, and you are exploring through all these different rooms, trying to pick up things that are going to help you, facing things that are hurting you, finding ghosts and other items. And eventually a haunt will take place that's going to change everything. This game gets scary. It really does. If you think about the stress that you have when you play through these games, trying to figure out if you're going to win, if you're going to lose, this brings me to Halloween almost better than any other game that I have, with one exception. And that is my number 1 game for this spooky season, Horrified. Friends, I love Horrified. I started playing this game with some of my best friends. They bought it not knowing exactly what we were getting into. We opened it up. I thought this was going to be a cheesy adaptation of Theme. I love monsters. I love ghosts. I love the whole Halloween idea. I love everything with the horror themes. And I was afraid this was going to be a poor adaptation of it. You may have played this already. If you have not, you can pick this up at not only your friendly local gaming stores, but also at a lot of big box retailers. They've even now come out with the American monsters as well. So you can play not just these original Universal monsters, but also some of the more traditional American themed monsters. I really want to pick up that second game. I have not picked it up yet. I grew up in West Virginia. Mothman was something that we grew up learning about in school and just in lore. And I would love to be able to play against Mothman. But I'm still enjoying this game. I have not found this game to outlast its welcome. We don't always win. We usually always play on the hardest level. Sometimes we win, sometimes we do not. But I love this. The artwork in the game kind of takes you into this old school feel of horror. You start to see the little miniatures, which I'm actually in the process of painting right now just to bring a little bit more theme into it. You get to see the story unfold as you're trying to save the villagers, the innocents, get them to their locations, run around this town facing Dracula, facing Frankenstein's monster and his bride, facing the Invisible Man, facing these fantastic monsters that we grew up watching in movies. And now all of a sudden you're pulled into that movie. And I think that's what's good about this game. This game makes you feel like you are pulled through the TV screen into the actual movie. Probably the best thing about Halloween is dressing up as these classic monsters, trick-or-treating as a kid or as an adult, now seeing all the kids excited about dressing up and feeling that night of fright. And this game is that. It's a night of fright. It's horror in a board game. That's not overly scary, but at the same time keeps your stress on high alert and allows you to enjoy the time. So friends, these are my top 10 games. Well, there's a lot more games here than 10, but these are my top 10 game suggestions for this spooky season. So if you are interested in playing anything, getting into the Halloween theme as we get closer to the most wonderful time of the year, October 31st, Halloween, these are some games you might want to check out. Friends, thank you for joining me at the table today. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're interested in other games that are on my list, I have a lot more games within this spooky horror mystery theme. Comment down below. I'll be happy to share some of the other games that I have enjoyed and maybe some of them I did not enjoy as we've played throughout the years these board games. If you have other games that you enjoy that meet within this Halloween theme that I have not discussed, throw them down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about them. Do you get into the Arkham universe like I do? Do you enjoy it? Can you make a top 10 list just of Arkham games yourself? Let me know. We'll be friends. Friends, thank you so much. Hope you all have a great day. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We'd love to have you along for the ride as we go throughout this journey together. Thank you guys. Have yourself a happy Halloween.